Yay! 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 Hey, hey, Put your motherfucking hands in the air! Put your. Hey! Damn, we haven't been here in so long. I'm not even on here anymore. Put your motherfucking hands in the air! Meds kicking your ass? No, you wanna know what's crazy? Today's day one off the meds, baby. This is raw. This is why I'm in a great mood. The meds have been putting me in a terrible mood. Brayden, 31 months in the Slightly Delusional Club. Pretty good trade for both sides. All right, let's get into it. I shaved my beard today by myself. It's the first time I've shaved my beard in years by myself. I was gonna do a replacing the meds with something stronger. Well, let me rephrase that. I did take some pain meds today, but they're like Tylenol basically. I'm off the fucking strong shits. Are you saying finally to the trade or finally to me shaving my beard? I was like, with my broken ankle, I'm gonna grow my beard out. It looks so bad. Oh, you were saying finally to the beard. Thank you. Katie's reaction straight? No. So I was on the phone with British Airways. And when I got the notification, I just got off the phone with them. So let's get into it. Let's get into it. Let me tweet out that I'm live. Kevin Durant is on the Rockets, huh? These motherfuckers never go east. Why can't they ever go east? Is it like against the rules, the league rules? All right, guys, bring shades back? No. You know, when you guys say stuff like that, it's hurtful. You want to know what people always say is one of my best features? Is my eyeballs. That's what people say is one of my best features. I have beautiful eyes. And when you guys do that, it hurt my feelings. You get what I'm saying? By the way, guys, I'm come to OKC for Game 7. Yeah, I'm on the way. Let me get medical extract to get me there. I'm thinking of a sort of incentive, maybe, sign the cast. I already drew a heart. Lover boy. Sign the cast, maybe. We'll do something, maybe. This cast does come off on Thursday, to be fair. All right, let me turn that down live, actually. Finally. Folks, I am live. Get the hell in here. Wait, oh my God, this is actually insane. Him being on stage like that? Wait, this is actually crazier than I thought it was going to be. What the fuck? Hold on. This is actually intense. All right, guys, that's going to be it for the stream. I'll see you guys later tonight when we go live for the finals, Game 7. Wow, this is crazy. This is insane. I wish you guys could see this. All right, see you guys. Wait, hold on.
He has been unwilling to me to confirm, but league sources tell me that the San Antonio Spurs are De'Aaron Fox's
I'm the source now. Breaking news, live from the Slightly Biased Sports Desk. Breaking, the Phoenix Suns are trading two-time NBA Finals MVP Kevin Durant to the Houston Rockets for Jalen Green, Dillon Brooks, the 10th overall pick in the 2025 draft, and 5 second-round picks. Sources tell Slightly Biased. All right, so here we go. This saga has finally reached its conclusion. Immediately, my gut reaction right when I saw this was fantastic trade. Fantastic trade for the Rockets. Honestly, I think that they did a really good job here. You know, when you look at their roster, there was one thing they desperately needed, and that was a shot creator, a shot maker, especially one that can make shots late in games. And Kevin Durant is that, even at his advanced age, right? And Kevin Durant's unique in this regard, like for Houston, is that he's got size. When he locks in defensively, he's still really solid. So I like that for them, and I think he fits in like a glove. Why is the fucking chat not popping up? And I don't think they paid that much. I got to be honest with you. I don't think they paid that much. Jalen Green to me is let me try to do something real quick. Jalen Green to me is, you know who he is. He's an inconsistent player with flashes of greatness, but by and large, historically speaking, and we've talked about this even before this trade. Historically speaking, dude, what, like, why can't I? Whatever. Historically speaking, there we go. The likelihood of Jalen Green blossoming in anything else is very low. Like the guards who are that inefficient early in their career, rarely ever does it change much, right? Dillon Brooks, you know, whatever. You trade Dillon Brooks for KD 10 times out of 10. And the 10th overall pick, I mean, guys, they had the 3rd overall pick last year and he didn't play. So it's just like they don't really have, yeah, exactly, Joe. They don't have, you know, they don't need the 10th overall pick. They already have so many young players on the roster. Like Reed Shepherd's going to have to get minutes. You know, Cam Whitmore is going to have to get minutes. They still have guys on their team, these high draft picks that haven't even gotten a chance to play really. So trading the 10th overall pick makes sense to me. And they didn't give up any future picks. They didn't give Phoenix any of their future picks back. I think this is a fucking slam dunk. Seriously. I think this is an incredible trade for the Rockets. I think both teams stay mid. No, I think this is an incredible trade for Houston. I think this is an incredible get for Houston. I think they nailed it. They knocked it out the park. I think they did a great job. Yeah, if I'm Phoenix, like I think Phoenix got fucked on here. I have friends that are texting me, they're like, horrible trade for Houston. I'm like, what? I think people get caught up in the idea of Jalen Green too often. And I get it. I've fallen victim to it as well. I picked the Rockets to have a good season this year. If you guys remember, I picked them to make the playoffs, not even the play-in. Obviously, they were the 2 seed. I didn't pick that. I think I picked them to be the 6 seed. Like I foresaw them having a big breakout year. And if you guys go back and watch, my reasoning for that was because I thought Jalen Green was going to have a breakout year. That wasn't the case. He'll always have flashes. Dude, he was getting benched down the stretch of games. Like, that guy's tradable, man. Jalen Green was never a player for them long term. He just wasn't, right? Şengün could be. Jalen Green was never going to be, ever. John with the 179 THB. What's that? Hey, Siley from Thailand. Oh, Thailand. All right. Shout out to Thailand. Would love to visit Thailand. That's actually at one of the top of my, near the top of one of my destination wish lists. I was about to go to sleep, but Sham's bomb kept me awake. So are we getting Cooper Flag soon? Oh, we're getting Cooper Flag soon. I'm assuming you're talking about the Mavs. Jalen Green did break out of the closet. I regret reading that. So anyways, I'm loving this trade for them. Now, I got to see this. This is actually batshit insane. So KD is on the stage. They're still doing this podcast?
What'd you say? You just got traded! Seems like there is a news report that has just taken place about Katie's destination. I believe that Katie has been traded to the Houston Rockets.
He knew. He for sure knew before he got on the stage. He for sure knew. Look at the reaction. This is insane.
We'll see what happens, but I'm excited. Great young core, great coach. I think Katie would be a great fit there. A lot going on right now. I'm going to ask you 2 more questions to let you sort out what's happening. All right, we're going to close this out with 2 more. Tell me the song you always have to play on game day.
It's raining in Houston. That's what I'm playing by Drake.
Seriously? Katie just got traded to Houston. Katie got traded to Houston. Hey, Katie, what's your favorite song? Yeah, where was this at? Yeah, I think he probably had an idea. I mean, this whole trade saga was so public, I have a hard time imagining he did not know that this was about to happen. It was at the boardroom. Boardroom USA? What city was it in? Bubba, welcome to the Slightly Delusional Club. Tenth overall for Phoenix now. That changes the dynamic of the draft a little bit. I actually never thought that Houston was going to pick 10th.
Houston by Drake is the song Katie said he has to play on game day.
Bubba, 23 months of the Slightly Delusional Club. Get scammed, idiot. Jalen Green is a Mav. You had to join twice. Get scammed, idiot. That's my scam right here. You see, he joined the first time, then joined a second time. I'm running a great scam here. All right. All right. All right. All right. All right. Okay. Jajin, 2 months. What song do you play on game day slightly? Yeah, 360. When you're in the mirror, you like what you see. When you're in the mirror, you're just looking at me. I'm everywhere. I'm so Julia. All right. Gafford for pick 10. No, they're picking. They're picking for sure. They need some youth. So what the fuck are the Suns about to do? They're the most interesting little piece here. So for Houston, I mean, this is a great get for them. I can't get over how good of a trade this is. I can't get over how good of a trade this is because they get exactly what they need. They get that go-to shot maker. They get that go-to clutch bucket getter. They beat the Warriors with KD 100%. That goes without being said. They beat Golden State with Kevin Durant on their roster. And they don't give up much, man. They don't give up much. They really don't. Like, it's kind of different for another one of these teams, like Minnesota. Anytime I do Minnesota, that's all I think about. Minnesota, Miami to an extent, and I got to talk about them here in a second. Miami to an extent. Some of these other suitors, even the Knicks, if you want to include them, because their name was brought up. These teams that don't have the the draft capital, so like trading 1 pick or 2 picks is kind of like a big deal for them. The Rockets have picks at their disposal. 10th overall. Again, they drafted a guy 3rd overall last year who doesn't even play for them right now. They drafted a guy a couple years ago who was supposed to go in the top 5 before the draft, and he hasn't even really got a chance for them. Like, they don't need that pick currently, and they get exactly what they need. It was a great deal, man. Brooks hurt their defense a little bit. Yeah, they'll be fine though. They can make up with that. They can make up for that in a lot of different ways. Minnesota. So from Phoenix side, I don't think this is horrible. I think any deal, I think we talked about this on a stream or on a ramble, something. One of the times I've been talking recently, that if Houston were offering the 10th overall pick, they need to just fucking take it. Like, it's hard to imagine them getting more. We've been prepped this. They've been telling us this. I've been telling you guys this for months, that the KD return's not going to be crazy. Like, it's not going to be crazy. You kept saying, well, the Suns want to get back what they gave up. It's like, that's never in a million fucking years happening, ever. Never in a billion years is that happening. You're probably not even going to get back what you gave up for KD in a Booker trade, let alone a KD trade. People are somehow saying Houston got fleeced. How can anyone think Houston got fleeced in this trade? I don't understand. I want to hear the argument. Does anybody in this chat think Houston got fleeced? Chuckles with a 499. I feel like KD by himself as the only real shot getter isn't enough for the West anymore. You think there are more moves to come for Houston? Maybe, but here's also why I really like this for Houston and why I was going to love this for San Antonio as well. Is they're a young team, right, who has a clear need for somebody like this, a bucket getter, go-to guy, a veteran guy. You don't cut into your young core, right? Like Jalen Green was on the outs, man. It was over. Like, after this season, there was nothing you could say to convince anybody that Jalen Green was going to turn into, like, the guy. And that's what Houston needs. Şengün's not going to be that guy. They need, like, Şengün's a good player in his own right, as an offensive hub, as a center, as a big, that, there's benefits to that. But as just a go-to guy, yeah, it's a 3-point game with 5 minutes left in a playoff game. Can you go get us a win? Şengün's really not that guy yet. Probably won't be that guy, but that's not really his archetype. And Jalen Green was just never going to be that guy on a consistent basis, at the very least. Yeah, and they're not like, you're not locking into 6 years of Kevin Durant. So it kind of just aligns with your rookie contracts. And before you have to really pony up and pay guys a lot of money, right? Like you got guys on their sort of rookie scale maxes. But once you got to pony up and pay the big boy maxes after that, KD will be gone. I think that's why I loved it for San Antonio. Like I loved it for both San Antonio and Houston. You get 3 years of Durant? Yeah, 3 years of Durant, and he's still really good. What is Durant as a point guard and the Rockets are PG and the Rockets are cooked? No, the Rockets from one of the teams that Houston was one of the teams that KD put on. Gambo says the Suns plan to keep Green. All right, so let's talk about Phoenix here. I don't, all things considered, I don't think it's the worst return. Getting a 10th overall pick, in this draft. Let me pull up my big board, which I have been working on. By the way, guys, so I'm gonna stream every day starting tomorrow. I'm not sure if we're gonna go 10:30 in the morning yet or what, but we'll stream tomorrow. And it's just gonna be every day for the foreseeable future. We're going to do our. I got Gambo pulled up. We're going to do our community mock draft on Tuesday. So be ready for that. But let me pull up my big board, which, folks, it is the best big board. Some people say it's the best big board they've ever seen. I gotta knock some guys down. There's a couple guys that I've soured on a little bit as of late. For one reason or another. Just a couple of guys that I've soured on a little tiny bit. I'm everywhere. I'm so Julia. So, it's true. It was a bad day for a Trump impression. Around the 10th overall pick, you're looking at somebody like Kamal Malawak. You think he'll be there potentially? They go for a center. They just draft one. Malawak, Colin Murray Boyles. Sorber. Could also go away. I mean, they could go a couple different directions. I mean, they could also go a guard. I don't know. Yakonis, will he still be there? Queen, they're getting Derek Queen. I don't know if this Phoenix team would be a good fit for Queen. I have knocked Queen down again, by the way. So I moved Queen up. I've knocked Queen back down last night because I've thought about it more, and I'm just like, man, things have to go so perfectly for him. Although he is really fun. Things have to go so perfectly for him. I also knocked down Noah Songe because he's been really bad in their playoffs over there. Ace Bailey falling to 10 would be hilarious. Malawak is going at lowest 9, but this does severely hurt the Hawks' chances of getting Queen. Am I just crazy for the Malawak stuff? Yeah, I'd be cool taking him 10, but this whole Malawak's not making it past 8. He's not making it past. I'm like, why? I mean, how many times do you have to draft one of these centers that high in the draft and then realize that, these rim running centers are a dime a fucking dozen? These rim running centers have no playmaking chops whatsoever. Eric with the $4.99. I still believe the Spurs are aiming for Giannis or Jaylen Brown, in my opinion. It's going to be a very interesting offseason. So, yeah, I mean, look, I think San Antonio got outbid here because if I'm the Spurs, no way in hell am I offering 2. No way in hell am I offering Castle. I would have done Harrison Barnes and Keldon Johnson in 14. Right? And this is obviously a better return than that. So they got outbid here, but they've been suspiciously quiet, huh? They've been suspiciously quiet. I'm kind of I was thinking about this a couple days ago. Jaylen Brown. Are we maybe sleeping on this? Is this one of those things where, yeah, it's quiet because there's nothing happening? Pablo at the 2. I wonder if Booker's moving, and if so, where? Do we think this is a smoke screen? This is from John Gambo. If you want to know anything about the Suns, this guy knows his shit. This is the one. The Suns do not plan to trade Jalen Green. He's expected to play alongside Devin Booker in the backcourt. Armando with the 2 kind of feels like 2 firsts, 2 seconds. Agree. For what? Jaylen Brown or? Jalen Green and Devin Booker backcourt with Bradley Beal looming. Gambo's a Trump supporter. He can eat shit. How about this, guys? Here you go. Suns depth chart. Devin Booker, Dylan Brooks, Bradley Beal, Jalen Green, Grayson Allen. Fuck yeah, man. Oh, Bobo. Yeah, add Bobo. Yeah, Bobo's Jake's right. Bobo's running point with this team. Hey, that's a championship contending team if I've ever seen one. Aaron, welcome to the Slightly Delusional Club. So, Suns picking Jace Richardson? Oh, shit. You guys think that's possible? Oh, if they draft Jace Richardson, that would be fucking hilarious. Oh my God, that would be so funny, actually. I mean, this has all been a shit show disaster for Phoenix. Like, I never thought their Kevin Durant return was going to be good. So I'm not going to laugh at them for this because the moment it was like, yeah, Kevin Durant's getting traded. That was like, yeah, you're not getting a good return for that, no matter what, right? Ishbia is just destructive mad. I call him Little Destructive Mad. Everything he touches is destroyed immediately. It's quite remarkable, really. He's the worst. He's one of the worst owners we've ever seen, folks. They pay $2 hot dogs. They say $2 hot dogs and everything's okay. As long as the hot dogs are $2. They say, we love the $2 hot dogs. Destructive Matt. They've done such a terrible job. I mean, this team is fucked. This team's absolutely fucked. Like, they're done. They are done for the next 6 years. Bare minimum 6 years. They are done. Let's see what the Sun subreddit is saying to this. Oh, 2025 3 shooting guard lineup greater than 2014 3-point guard lineup. Man. Shout out to that 2014 3-point guard lineup, actually. That was a fun. I remember I had a in 2K, what was that? 2K15, I made a center and I joined that Suns team and it was fun. They had a Gerald Green. I want to say in that one you start on the bench and Alex Lynn was playing ahead of me and I'm like, what the fuck are we doing? Was it Alex Lynn? Has Alex Lynn been in the league that long? Wow. They had Gortat for sure, too. Damn, that's kind of crazy. Alex Lynn's been in the league that long. Not getting one of Jabari Easton or Whitmore is absurd. Yeah, I mean, I do feel like in the case of a bidding war, and here's an interesting little tidbit about this, is that it did kind of sound for a bit like, okay, there's a bidding war maybe. There's a bidding war for Kevin Durant, and that might bode well for Phoenix, even if it's a bidding war across teams that don't have a lot of assets and you're not getting like huge return. It's just like if we can bump the price up just a tiny bit. And I thought that could mean that they were going for that they were going to land like a Jabari Smith or something like that in this trade, or maybe even a future first tacked on, like their own 2027 pick back or something. But it does sound like this bidding war was a joke. It sounds like this bidding war was a fucking joke. The Heat. I just saw this. Folks, listen to this bidding war. It came down. Sham said it came down to the Heat and to the Spurs. Or the Heat and the Rockets. Listen to what the fucking Heat were offering. The Heat would not include Jaime Jaquez, Nikola Jovic, Haywood Highsmith, or the 20th pick or other draft picks in the trade. What the fuck was this trade gonna be? They weren't going to include Jaime Jaquez, Jovic, Haywood Highsmith on the 20th overall pick. What was this trade going to be? What were they offering? Actually, you notice that no Khalil Ware here. So, but that was established a while ago. Expired COVID test. They're just like, yo, listen. Best I can do is Terry Rozier. And not even then, that's pushing it. Even then, Terry Rozier's like at the limits of what I can offer you. Bryce, welcome to Side Delusional Club. If you're new to the channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button. We'll be live all summer long. Be live on this channel tonight, watching Game 7. Anytime there's a big trade or anything like that, we will go live immediately. Heat are a hilarious franchise. Well, actually, I'm happy for Miami. I have to be honest with you. Like, yeah, it's easy to look at this and laugh at them. It is funny as fuck. They looked Nat Ishbia in the eye and told them, you're an idiot. You are an idiot. That's what happened. But I actually like Miami not trading for KD because it doesn't make much sense to me. Now, there have been reports, and Itachio points this out in the chat. There have been reports that DeMar DeRozan is a fallback option. So much so that I did see some rumblings that there's a deal already kind of in place between Miami and Sacramento. It would be along the lines of, I think it was Rozier in the 20th overall pick for DeMar. There's a couple of things that point to that. Like DeMar, there was a report about that trade, and there's also reports that the Kings are like telling agents for draftees that they'll have a upper 20s pick, like a low 20s pick. I'm good if I'm Sac. No, I'm doing that if I'm Sacramento. If I can get a first-round pick for DeMar DeRozan in year of our Lord 2025, I'm doing that shit easily. No questions asked. I don't give a fuck who I'm getting back. I don't get it for Miami whatsoever. There was an ESPN mock trade or some mock trade where DeMar DeRozan was going to the Mavericks. It's just like, dude, why? What? It was like PJ and something for DeMar. It's just like, what? Washmill HKD just got traded. This is league shattering. I mean, it's not league shattering, but if you don't think this is like a pretty decent move for a team that was just the 2 seed that gave up a player who was on the outs, like in and out the closing lineup, a role player and a 10th overall pick, if you don't think them getting a guy who is still a top 10 player in the league and Kevin Durant is like sizable, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, it's a pretty big move. I don't think it's league shattering. Like, I don't think Houston is the favorite next year or anything like that, but it's a pretty decent size move. They need a playmaker. Well, I'm assuming they're going to keep Fred. I'm assuming Fred will come back. Suns are still $12 million over the second apron. I mean, I'm sure they'll try to dump Brooks, would be my guess. Here we go. Wait, here we go. Devin Booker, Jalen Green, Bradley Beal. Very interesting. Wait, didn't we do a joke about this same thing? Who's beating this starting third? Wait, didn't we do it? Didn't we make a joke about this? Who remembers that? You guys remember what I'm talking about? Like who's stopping this? Who's stopping this? Oh, it was Brandon Ingram, RJ Barrett, and Kyle Kuzma. Who's stopping this big three? This is Paul George for SGA again? Man, fuck no. I've held on to Jalen Green stock longer than most, but no, that ship has sailed. That ship has sailed. They should get 2 more shooting guards. Yeah, who else is on the market? Maybe Do they have any contracts they need to dump? Maybe they can trade. Well, no, they need to keep Beal. What's Royce's number? What's Royce O'Neal's number? What's he coming in at? Could they maybe flip Royce? 10 million? Yeah, $10 million this year for Royce. Trying to think, like what shooting guards are on the market around $10 million? They can make a play. I mean, Jace Richardson. So draft Jace Richardson. 10th overall. Trade Royce O'Neal for another shooting guard. Jordan Clarkson. Royce O'Neal for Jordan Clarkson. Maybe. I saw that they were trying to trade Cody Martin. So Cody Martin, the Mavs pair Cody Martin with Caleb Martin. Cody Martin for Jaden Hardy. Yeah. Well, we'll get him right. We'll get him fixed up. Jordan Poole, yeah, maybe. Rozier's a terrible asset. No, I know, but at least Rozier's expiring at this point, though. At least Rozier is expiring. You want to know what's sad, guys? I was supposed to have landed in London a few hours ago. Womp, womp, womp. I'm so everywhere. I'm not Julia. So what, all right, let's see. Let's go back to the Suns subreddit. What are we talking about? 1 year, 37-year-old Randall is not the leverage you think. You didn't have leverage, but some of these young guys aren't even going to play in Houston. Reed Shepard's the top 3 pick and play in the G League all year. Hey, dog, if the fucking Heat weren't offering Haywood Highsmith in this trade, if the Heat weren't offering Haywood Highsmith, you were never in a million years getting Reed Shepard. Oh, man. Oh, I'm dying ass laughing at this. Haywood Highsmith. Oh yeah, this being on gate. Hey, if I was Adam Silver, this is so fucked up. It happened today. So fucked up this happened today. Yeah, we're 7 hours away from Game 7 of the NBA Finals. First one in 10 years. Would you rather have KD for the next 2 years or Jimmy Butler if you're Houston? Oh, KD. I think Jimmy Butler is. I'm concerned. If I'm Golden State, I'm a little bit concerned about what I've seen from Jimmy Butler this year. I bet he loves it. No, I mean, why not wait until tomorrow? You know, like tomorrow would have been perfect for this to drop. We're Game 7, we're moving on. Like, league acts like KD changed things. KD hasn't impacted the NBA in 6 years. No, that's not fair, man. That team in 2021 was really good and was a toenail away from probably winning the NBA Finals. So I don't know how you could say that. I posted this exact trade in your KD video. What was our what trades did I cook up in that KD video? What was I saucing up? I'm going to do a ramble here in a bit. And I've decided, people have said this and I agree with them. I've decided that when I do ramble, sometimes on the stream, I'll say, hey guys, I'm going to do a ramble real quick. And I'm going to lock in. I'm not going to focus on the chat, no matter what you guys say. Even if they're slurs. That's not true. Don't say that. Can Kevin Durant get traded already? Here we go. Well, it's my own video, so we got to sit here and watch all the ads. That's just the way it is. I got to watch the ads on my own videos.
At my own pace. I offer a range of products and services. To manage it all from one place is essential. It gave me time back in my day to get going on actual projects. It really just made everything feel more achievable.
We'll click on it. Visit site. All right. Just made myself about $10 to $15. That I will go live immediately over on my main channel. Wait, what did I just say? Big trade happens or something like that. I will go live immediately over on my main channel, youtube.com/slightlybiased. Let's. What was I cooking? I made so many fucking KD trades. I made a fiend on the Fanspo machine. They weren't even offering this. Dude, Haywood Highsmith is just the funniest shit, man. Man, I actually, you know what? I was really thinking they were going to pull off some bigger move here, it appears. So there's no pathway for them. They like to hit up the Nets and say, what about Claxton? You don't have YouTube Premium? I did, but I let it expire. I did. I let it expire. I got to pull myself up by the fucking bootstraps, the surgery, We're penny pinching around here. This over sell Barnes at 14. Okay. I'm interested. Like, let's just say hypothetically that trade got offered to them. Which one would you have took if you were Phoenix? Does Vassell being a better asset than Jalen Green, right? That's actually interesting. Yeah, no, I don't think so either. I'd rather have Jalen Green. Because Jalen Green, I can at least like talk myself into there. There is a decently high ceiling there. There's probably a small chance it ever gets there, but Brick's better for the Suns than Barnes. You think so? I'd like Harrison Barnes at this point, especially as a expiring. They need a forward. Yeah, Vassell, you guys know I love Devin Vassell, but at this point, it's getting hard to defend him. Brooks is way better than Barnes. It's not even a question. But Barnes kind of fits a little bit more with their... But Harrison Barnes had a sneaky good season last year. A sneaky good season. So is there... Okay, let me give you guys this hypothetical. Jalen Green and the 10th overall pick to Brooklyn for Claxton in one of their late firsts. Who says no? Does Brooklyn? Here's another question for you. Do we think Brooklyn's getting multiple first-round picks from the Lakers this offseason for Claxton? I was thinking about this yesterday because I want to do like a Lakers thing. I think the Lakers are fucked. I'm just telling you. I'm looking at their roster. I'm looking at their trade assets. I'm looking at what might be readily available to them. I think they're in bad shape. Straight up. Do you want to know something I'm doing if I'm Phoenix? Something I'm considering? I might hit up teams with this 10th overall pick to see if I can get some future firsts. What do you think about that? Teams that are looking to trade up or maybe trade into the draft. I might be looking to see if I can get... Yeah, I'm looking to trade Jalen. If I'm the Suns, I'm blowing it up. Like, this is over, right? This experiment's done. But the problem is, you don't have your picks. So, you can't really blow it up. But I'm looking to extract as much value as possible while still, maintaining the image of being competitive, if that makes sense. So, I was thinking about this because I'm thinking about the Lakers center options. And I'm like, Gafford's right there in front of you. Somebody on my Clips channel commented and was like, why the fuck are you always doing Lakers to the Mavis trades? Like, it's bullshit. Like, they're not going to, it's like, because there's an obvious, pathway there. There's an obvious pathway. The Lakers need a center badly. The Mavs have a center. There's an obvious trade that can be worked out there. But like Gafford, Claxton at his number, you're trading multiple firsts for Claxton. I'm just not sure they're Nick Claxton away, to be honest with you. Is there a pathway for the Lakers to get a top pick to go after a Maluak, for example? Like if you're a team and you're drafting around the 10 range, you're like, I don't love these guys. Like if you're Phoenix and you're like, man, we've done our research. We don't love some of these guys 10th overall. And we don't have a lot of picks moving forward. And the Lakers call you. And they're like, hey, we love Maluak. We think that's the guy. Like, let's just say Maluak falls to 10. We think that's the guy. We'll trade you. We'll trade you like our 2031 first. If you're Phoenix, do you consider that just to have like a future? Maybe you can get connected in the deal or something. Just to have like a future pick that could be pretty interesting. Lakers 2031 pick feels less valuable with the new rich owner. It doesn't really matter. The thing, when picks are 6 years out, teams will convince themselves to anything. So for at least the next 2 to 3 years, maybe even 4 years, it's like a solid trade asset because you never know, right? I do Gafford for Lonzo and pick 12. Yeah, I would do that in a fucking heartbeat. I've seen that trade. Our guy MFFL Nation mocked up that trade. I like it a lot for the Mavs. I would do that in a millisecond. I don't get why Chicago would. You know, I don't think Chicago is really in a position to do something like that. Unless the only scenario in which that would happen is unless they just don't like a guy. I don't think. Come on, falls past the Raptors. I mean, I'm clearly missing something with Malawash. I don't like this whole like the Raptors are not letting. I'm just like, why? I don't like. He just looks like a run of the fucking mill center. Like he looks good, but like I don't know. Shams left in a Whitmore segment in his article. Sounds like it was going to include Whitmore. Wait, really? That's actually really interesting if that's true. He's Lively 2.0. Malawak is nothing like Derek Lively. Nothing. Damn, they didn't even get Whitmore, man. I think this was a great trade for Houston. Destructive Matt. Yeah. A+ 2 year run for Stone. Absolutely. They've done an incredible job. What in the flying fuck? No, drafting Cooper Flag cannot undo all this. Jesus. I've been getting, so anytime I post a Cooper Flag thing, there's always people in my replies. I had somebody in my replies a couple days ago. I posted something for Dirk's birthday. Dirk's birthday. And someone quote tweeted, it was like, it's insane how Mavs fans are trying to erase Luke. I was like, what? I was like, wait, what? I read back my tweet like 4 times. I was like, am I missing something in this tweet? Jalen Green is really on my team. I hate this fucking team so much. Destructive Matt. Little destructive Matt Ishbia. I tweeted out earlier in the year, Matt Ishbia has done such a bad job. And I was having Twitter arguments with people who said he did a good job. And I was like, this guy's done a horrific job. Horrific. Like, think about how bad of a job he's done. That like, and they leak everything. Like, and part of the reason why I hate this Suns management so fucking much right now is because they leak everything to the media. Everything gets leaked to them. Like they just basically write articles for the media. I remember a couple years ago when they were doing these stupid ass, They just traded 7 swaps for a second round pick. And then like the media, like, here's actually why this is a genius move. It's like, oh my God, the Suns are just writing these articles for you guys. You guys have absolutely zero integrity whatsoever. The pathetic Suns. Tam with the $2. Does this mean Giannis to San Antonio? Jaylen Brown. You heard it here first. But it's just insane to me, man. They try to gaslight us and us thinking that this was some like next level big brain shit that the Phoenix Suns are operating with. They're operating with poop in their diaper. All right, let's just call it what it is. I remember the media going crazy about the Suns getting 2 seconds last year and saying they were recouping their assets. Dude, so I remember this vividly. They traded their 2031 first, which could be insanely valuable. Or was it a swap or whatever? And they got 3 shitty-ass first-round picks in return. Right? Like 3 dog shit picks. Like you might hear trading 1 first for 3 picks. No, it was like 3 picks, and some of them are like heavily protected. A couple of them are like swapped to 3 different teams already. Like horrible trades. Like horrible return on value. And people are like, no, it's genius, man, because now they're trading for Jimmy. Like now it's for sure. And I remember thinking and saying, and I was 100% correct, being slightly biased, it just means you're right early, but saying, no, they're just doing this so they could fucking dump Nurkic. Like another disaster trade for them. They're doing this so they can have a pick to dump Nurkic. And that's exactly what happened. So they traded what could be a very valuable pick just to get a couple shitty picks back so they could dump off their dog shit value contracts. Like they've done, and they don't even get a pick in this. Like, oh my God, what a disaster. Who's ready for this backcourt? Hell is. Satan. Bro, is that Bradley Beal in an Edmonton Oilers jersey? Oh, that's good. That's good. That's hilarious. No, it does not seem like they're coping. It does not seem like they're coping. So I don't like looking at things like this. I am gonna open this though for my ramble. I don't like looking at things like this really because they took a shot at KD and KD was always going to be. KD was like trading for KD at this time was always going to be like driving a car off the lot. The moment you left, KD's value was going to get lower and lower every year. Pussy liquor, the 199 sub slightly. We still run in the West next year. That we are, pussy. That we are. Mikal Bridges, Cam Johnson. Oh, who could forget Juan Pablo Valle? Like, they traded Juan Pablo in this fucking trade. I forgot about that. Jay Crowder. 1, 2, 3, 4 picks in a swap. And they have turned that into Jalen Green, Dylan Brooks, and the 10th overall pick in this year's draft. But again, I don't love doing that just because they went for it with KD. It was always a huge risk. The Suns do not. Okay, here's actually what I wanted to see what Suns fans had to say. Suns do not plan on to trade Jalen Green. He's expected to play alongside Devin Booker in the backcourt. Book, Green, Beal, and Brooks. They must have something lined up for Beal. Brother, what? What could possibly be lined up for Beal? See, and this is what I'm saying, Matt Ishbia brain. They have to have a plan of some sort for all those second rounders. Like, dude, all those second round picks, you guys don't understand. Ishbia's like second round hitman. Oh my God. That's one of the crazier chats I've ever seen. Beal in the 10th overall pick for what? I would Beal in the 10th overall pick. Brooklyn, we go hard. I mean, for Claxton, Cam Johnson and Claxton, why the fuck would I do that if I'm Brooklyn, though? Is the thing. Why does it feel like I'm out of the loop on why the Suns shouldn't keep Green? Well, I think right now you're looking at it Booker, Beal, Green. But here's the thing, is the Suns should not look at their situation and say, well, we have Bradley Beal. Bradley Beal doesn't matter to you, right? In an ideal world, Bradley Beal's gone tomorrow. Okay. I mean, there's even like, I think Gambo has openly said that Bradley Beal will almost certainly not be on the Suns next year, even if that means they have to buy him out of his contract. So, Dame for Beal, I thought about that. Gambo has been wrong all summer. Well, this was a fluid situation. For the 25-26 season, the Phoenix Suns will be paying their shooting guards over $139 million a year. God damn. 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 They don't own any of their picks, man. Oh. They don't own any of their picks. Well, to be fair, I think Gambo did say today the trade was either happening today or tomorrow. Dude, the Beal trade, like, you know what? I can excuse the Kevin Durant trade. I really can. You went for it. KD was still at the peak of his powers at the time of the trade. You went all in. You went for it. Commendable, I think, in a lot of ways. That's fine to me. Obviously, it didn't work out, but hindsight's 50-50. How's that work? Hindsight's 20-20. 50-50 would be terrible, right? Hindsight's 20-20. The Beal trade was indefensible at the time. And obviously looks like one of the stupidest, most disastrous trades since. And I actually think it goes under talked about. Like, I think in the whole like KD debacle, I think the Beal trade sort of goes under discussed. That trade is an all-time terrible trade. Think about it. All-time horrible. Weren't they just yapping about taking back all of their draft capital? Yeah, I mean, they were always yapping. Always yapping. Wow, I looked up Beal on my Twitter just to make sure I'm on the right side of history. June 17th, 2023. Devin Booker, $50 million a year. Kevin Durant, $50 million a year. Bradley Beal, $50 million a year. Oh, yeah, HBO's running that shit to the ground. Am I him? The pathetic Suns. The Beal trade is almost as bad as the Luka trade. So did you see the Mavs Reddit still posting about Luka doing college and everything? That is the last place on earth I ever want to be. Is the Mavs subreddit. Just the last place on earth. "20/20 vision just means you can read from 20 feet when an average person can read from 20 feet. So 50-50 is the same thing. Wait, so the higher the better, right? I thought it was the lower the better on the vision scale. Is there any Suns fans who are like, yo, actually, like, this is actually a pretty good trade? Yeah, like, let Ishbia cook, man. Let Ishbia cook. Yeah, it'll be interesting how KD is remembered by Suns fans. I can't think that they would... I can't think that they would remember him very fondly. Not that it was necessarily all his fault, but... Suns fans were poisoned into thinking they were able to regain leverage. Well, when you're a fan, when something like this is going on and it's your favorite team and you're a fan of it, it's, you know, what was I saying? 50-20 is bad vision, 10-20 is good vision. Okay, yeah, that's what I was saying. That's what I thought. Oh, when it's your favorite team is in a situation like this, like, you don't want to tell yourself that. You don't want to tell yourself that the situation is going to get dire. I think Charlotte has a Phoenix pick next year. I mean, the Phoenix pick next year swapped to like 5 different teams because that pick was involved in the Bane trade. There's like 6 different teams involved in next year's pick. Silver lining of the trade. Let's see. How will you remember Kevin Durant's legacy? Let's see what Suns fans are saying. A guy who got his and did nothing to elevate the players around him. Man. This shit's so funny. Like, they're still doing the Bull thing. Bull disagrees. He said he came to the Suns because of KD and learned a lot from him. Oh, my God. Bull came to the Suns because of KD. Oh, my God. Oh, that makes it all worth it. Nah, man. Bull came. Hey, that's another notch against KD then. Dude, no, you don't get it, man. We don't get Bull. It's like the Kawhi and Paul George trade. Like, yeah, we traded Paul. We don't get Kawhi without Paul George. Yeah, we don't get Bull without KD, though, man. It'll end up as one of those, did you know KD played for the Suns? No, I don't think it'll be remembered like that necessarily. Because it was still, at the time, it was one of the biggest trades ever. You know, so I don't think it'll be forgotten. I think it'll be another one of these cautionary tales. These brand new owners who get obsessed with the idea of going all in. Disaster ended the rebuild into another long rebuild. Buckets at the end of the day, I always see Beal trade is one they did. Yeah, Blue Clown, 562,000. You are 100% correct, young man. You are 100% correct. Correct. Yep, Josh Smith, RBI single. I got it on here. Can't dribble, can't pass, doesn't move on offense. Everything has to be used his way. Can't dribble. Huh? Wow. How are Rockets fans feeling about this? You got to feel good, I think. If I'm a Rockets fan, I'm fucking really excited. I'm really excited. Just a reminder, guys, if you have not liked the stream, make sure you do so. It helps me out tremendously. And if you're not subscribed, we'll be live pretty much daily for the next few weeks. I'm trying to iron out an exact time. It'll be like early in the day. Probably. I think we'll probably go around noonish from here on out. How does that sound, folks? And we'll be breaking in live anytime a big trade happens. And I've also been posting these rambling videos. You know, like, I've just been standing on business. In fact, although I can't stand because I broke my ankle. It's not clocking to you. Josh Young, Texas Tech, stand up. Streaming the second round. I mean, I actually might. I have nothing else. Oh, wait, no. Thursday, I actually can't. I got an orthopedic appointment. Actually, what time does that start? What time does do they televise the second round? Broken ankle from staying on business too hard. That's one way to look at it, and that would be accurate. Thanks for the memories, Jalen. Dude gave our first signs of hope after Harden, and even though he didn't pan out, I always root for him. Hard to call him a total bust, though. He's just not everything we hope for. He's pretty close to being a total bust, I think. Too early to tell. He did get a second contract and a huge second contract. So on that front, he's not a bust, I guess. Diehard Suns fans there. Anyone got a rope that I can borrow? Congrats, Rockets. FYI, Gambo is a clown. Why is Gambo a clown? So people have been hating on Gambo lately. We did find it funny. There's a picture of Donald Trump just hanging behind him. Big, beautiful Matt Ishbia. Stop the war. Gambo, stop the war. Stop the war with Bradley Beal, Gambo. Stand down and stand by, Gambo. Oh. Gambo kept saying Jabari was definitely in the package. Damn, so Gambo's been getting his ass beat this year. All right. Fair enough. We keep Gam, Jabari, Tari, and only give up one pick, Stone Masterclass. It really is. I mean, this was a no-brainer. No fucking brainer. It's stand down and stand by, beautiful Gambo. We call him Beautiful Gambo. He's so beautiful. Should I start my ramble sesh right now? Get all your comments out right now. If you have anything on your chest, get all of them out before I start my ramble and I don't read chat. You got anything you guys want to say? Get off your chests. Now's the time. Okay. I'll pick a donation by the end of the stream. I'll let somebody ride on my cast. How about that? I don't know if I want to do biggest donation. Biggest donation feels aggressive. Maybe it might just be a random one. Stand down and stand by. Fred VanVleet, Jabari, Suns, 27-29 for Jaylen Brown. Fred VanVleet, Jabari, Suns, 27-29 for Jaylen Brown. Does that save the Celtics any money? I think if there was a Jaylen Brown trade, they'd have to save a ton of money doing it. Tim with the $5. Suns will have a better record than the Mavs this season. Hot take. That's just pure hatred. That's just pure hatred spewing out of your mouth. Be sure to remind everyone there's going to be a lot of rambling videos during this period. We're going to ramble. Should I put this ramble on my main channel, this channel, or the clips? I think I'm going to do clips since we're already doing a live stream. Do you think we'll end up trading Caleb this offseason? If I had to guess, Mavericks, I'll say Hardy is almost certainly off the team. That is by far the coldest take to ever be called hot. That the Suns will have a better record than the Mavs. That's a hot take. B-Dot, 31 months. It's not clocking to you that slightly is back. It's not clocking to you, is it? You know, I hope everything's all right with Bugatti Biebs, you know. I hope everything's all right with him mentally. But that is one of the funnier clips we've seen in a long time. It's not clocking to you, is it? Have Gaff trade talks calmed down? I don't know if their Gaff trade talks are ever really hot. The thing about the Mavs is the Mavs are the opposite of the Suns. The Mavs move in complete silence. They do. Like, Stein will give you kind of like an insight into maybe who they're looking at. But by and large, like we will not know what the Mavericks are doing until they do it. You going to the draft party? I can't walk. So is it not clocking to you that I can't walk? Dallas and Orlando never leak info. Yeah, the Suns are like a rare breed where it's like, hey, Shams, so here's what we just offered the Houston Rockets. And then the next minute, hey, Shams, do you mind saying us trading a first-round pick for 5 second-round picks is actually genius? How do you feel about Brogdon as a tax mid-level? I guess. I love my DeAnthony Melton idea. I do. I love just like not pigeonholing yourself into getting a point guard and just taking what you can. I think Melton is. Remember this, guys. Remember I'm saying this right now. I think DeAnthony Melton is going to be a very good value signing for whoever he ends up on. Pussy Liquor with the $1.99. Go to the draft party. I'll wheel you around. Thank you for the offer, Pussy Liquor. Big Puss. draft party admission, or is it free? Good question, actually. I don't know. Melton has one knee. I mean, ACL injury, he'll be fine, right? The other thing that is concerning to me is the back stuff, because he did have back injuries when he was with the Sixers. That one is that would be what's concerning to me. Dude, this Heat thing is fucking hilarious. You have to pledge your allegiance to Nico, get the draft party. Nice. I like that. I pledge allegiance to Nico Harrison. Honestly, I think it should just be Spence. I think that's a possibility, honestly. I really do. I was looking at it, I was like, I think we're maybe sleeping on the possibility of this being a run it back type of situation with Exum or Spence. Ain't nothing more badass than wheeling up in a wheelchair. It's not wheeling up in a wheelchair that's a problem. It's getting down my fucking steps at my apartment. It's all the other stuff. Honestly, if I lived on the first floor or something, I'd be out and about a lot more than I am. I can't drive. Like, it's not clocking you guys that I can't drive. Are the Mavs running back the same medical staff from last year? No, they have made changes there, haven't they? I'm trying to find... Someone said in here earlier that Shams had Whitmore in the article accidentally still. Suns rebuild D Booker to the Nets for at least second round picks, including Suns 2026 pick. They're keeping him. I mean, I like if Booker were getting traded, that would have been the trade the Rockets made, you know? Does that make sense? You're weak, Unk. I broke my fibula and ran a 5K the week after. Do you tear ligaments? You know, like that's why they had to do a surgery. Is it clocking to you that's why they had to do the surgery? It wasn't just because of a fractured fibula. My fibula fracture went all the way up the ankle. Yeah, hey. It's really not clocking to you, is it? It's just not clocking to you. I'm going to show you the x-ray pictures just because of how badly it's not clocking to you. Just because of how badly it's not clocking to you. You see this? Yeah, my orthopedic doctor is a orthopedic doctor is a Pacers fan, so. All right. You see right here? You see how separated those are? That's how and you notice the break. You notice the fracture. You see how separated that is? Look at it after the surgery. That's how it's supposed to look. This is how it looked. This is how it's supposed to look. Yeah, I fucked my shit up. True, dude, that's actually true. Oh my God. Pussy. Posted the 199 cash meet Braun. When am I meeting you? Was that you who tweeted me that yesterday? It's finally starting to clock to you guys. All right, good. I'm happy it's clocking to you guys now. Did I tell you guys that they told me I was joking around? I was like, yeah, they said I had really strong bones. I was saying that to the orthopedic guy. I was like, yeah, they told me that I had really strong bones, joking around. And then he was like, you actually do have really strong bones. I was like, yeah, well. And then he said, your DNA is USA. It's like, oh, well, it's all starting to clock to me now. The strongest we've ever seen. Which bone? All of them. I can't get over how separated this shit was. Mm-mm-mm. Mm-mm. Well, anyways. Yeah, my orthopedic surgeon is a Pacers fan. Did he sacrifice my ankle? I hadn't even considered that. Did you cry? No. I haven't cried out of pain. I did cry once. It was right after they told me I needed surgery. It was the emotion of I'm not going to Europe anymore. But what I broke down is getting up my fucking stairs. It took me 10 minutes and it was miserable. Then I was just pissed off. I know Luka trade had you crying. No. When are you going to Europe after healing? October. I've already rescheduled my flights. I am going to Europe in October. Can you still play in the NBA Summer League? Yeah, I'm hoping so. Hooping injury. Yeah, let's get into it. That ramble sesh. Yap. It may be dumb, but I didn't. You couldn't travel in a cast. They don't want you to travel after you get surgery because there's like legitimate risk. You hear this for like NBA players and stuff too. They don't want you flying because there's legitimate risk of blood clot issues. Like they don't want you in car rides for too long. They don't want you in on planes. And they say, especially like it wasn't like I was just going to Europe, like just flying there. I was flying there. I would have had, I think, 3 different flights during the trip, then a flight back. So that's what it was just like. Yeah, you can't be doing all that shit. Penile expansion is a big risk when flying on planes. That as well, yeah. Draft party entrance is $10. You get a Mavs jersey T-shirt that says 1.8 to reference our top pick odds. Oh, that's pretty interesting. There was a pro wrestler that died from blood clots because of flying shortly after surgery. I mean, it just happened to Kyrie. Remember, Kyrie was like in New York for a couple weeks. People were like, "Why is he not with the team after his surgery?" It was because it was like they don't want him traveling. So I think it was they don't want you traveling for a couple weeks, but then beyond that, like even if I could, like what am I gonna like being in Europe right now would be fucking miserable. Like I can't walk. I'd be on a scooter. Like I was going to Cinque Terre in Italy, which is like mountainous, kind of hilly. Like I just wouldn't have been able to do anything. What you need, yeah, I could be, yeah. You're everything. Folks, it's time for a ramble. Folks, it's time for a yap session.
He has been unwilling to me to confirm, but league sources tell me that the San Antonio Spurs are De'Aaron Fox's
I'm the source now. Breaking news. Here's the breaking news. The Phoenix Suns are trading two-time NBA Finals MVP Kevin Durant to the Houston Rockets for Jalen Green, Dillon Brooks, the number 10 pick in the 2025 draft, and 5 second-round picks. Sources tell slightly biased. We've done it, folks. The trade of the millennium has happened. Finally, Kevin Durant's been traded. Let's talk about it. Time for a ramble, a yap sesh. Guys, make sure you subscribe to the channel for just so many rambles and so many yaps. If you're watching this right now, this yap fest, leave a comment. I want you to leave a comment, and I want you to say this. I want you to say this. Slightly, we love you. Slightly, we love you. And exactly in that way, okay? Let's get into this trade. So, first and foremost, just have to stay off the rip. I love it for Houston so much. 10 out of 10 trade for the Houston Rockets. I can't believe there's anybody, and I've had friends text me this, like anybody who thinks this is anything other than a remarkable trade for Houston. Their struggles as a team have been very well documented. We know what their issue was. We know their issue was shot creation. We know their issue was offense, tough bucket getting, and generating anything resembling a good look late in games. Look, let's just have this conversation right away. Do the Houston Rockets win their series against the Golden State Warriors if Kevin Durant is a member of the Houston Rockets? The answer to that question is yes. The answer to that question is yes. They win the series, right? They just needed somebody late in those games who could get them over the finish line, and they just don't have it. There's not somebody on their roster who's there yet, and maybe somebody could get there. Maybe Jalen Green could have developed into that. Maybe something would have just flipped on for Jalen Green. Maybe Şengün can get there. The reality is probably not. Probably not. And if you want to win in the NBA, if you want to go far, look at the teams that are in the championship games right now. Shout out to Patrick Dumont. The teams that are in the championship games currently. Game 7 is about to start in the next 6 hours. Think about the teams that have won. You need clutch, a bucket getting. You need guys who can generate offense for themselves. You need guys possession winding down. Somebody pull us out the mud. And that is what Kevin Durant provides for this Rockets team. And they didn't give up shit. Okay? Jalen Green was done. Like Jalen Green was, I think this was a big year for Jalen Green. And it's funny because I did predict the Rockets would have a good season this year. I was right, I did predict that Jalen Green would have a good season, or the Rockets would have a good season, but the main reason I predicted that was I thought Jalen Green, I fell for it. I fell for the March Jalen Green extravaganza a year ago and believed that would carry over into this year, that Jalen Green would, have a breakout season and that would propel the Rockets forward. That obviously wasn't the case. Not that he was terrible, but it was clear and obvious in the playoffs. I mean, he wasn't in closing lineups at times for them, right? So this is a no-brainer trade. The Rockets last year, I'm looking it up right now, they were 22nd in half-court offense. That's just not going to cut it. When the game slows down, in a playoff setting, it's cool being this uber physical team. When your best offense is bad offense, what do I mean by that? The Rockets' best offense towards the end of the season, damn, I sounded so country right there. Their best offense towards the end of the season last year was bad offense. It was missing shots. It was offensive rebounds and creating offense off of those offensive rebounds. That's not sustainable. That is not going into the playoffs. It's not like, all right, guys, just throw it up there. Steven Adams, best of luck, right? That's not good. And what were their numbers in that series against the Warriors? 92 offensive rating in the half court. I mean, it's not good enough to win, right? It's just not good enough to win games. Kevin Durant does change that equation for you quite a bit. And on top of that, what I like for them is, they needed to go, like, ideally, if Devin Booker were available, that's perfect for them. But he's got size that can they could still be this jumbo extra big team. He is older, but still, when KD locks in defensively, it's not the worst. It's still pretty solid. And he gives him somebody who can play huff ball, even though his willingness to do that at times with the Suns was weird, but the Suns were a fucking disaster. I think his buy-in level will be better. I like it. Again, Jalen Green was already kind of on the outs. Dillon Brooks, I think Dillon Brooks was important for them kind of looked like he lost a step maybe a little bit defensively at times this year, but they've got young guys who are just standing by to get in there. Tari Eason, ready to go. You've got Cam Whitmore, who was a top 5 draft talent a couple years ago, and the 10th overall pick, which is fine because if you're Houston, like we drafted 3rd overall last year, and that guy can't even get in the rotation for us, and Reed Shepard. Like we drafted a guy in Cam Whitmore a couple years ago who was supposed to be a top 5 pick before he fell in the draft, and he can't even get in the rotation for us. Like the 10th overall pick was never going to be a player who played significant minutes for this Rockets team this year unless they were destroyed by injuries, knock on wood. So this was a no-brainer. They did a great job. Raphael Stone has done fantastic. And this team, I had people in my chat who were like, who cares? This isn't a league-altering trade. Like, why does everyone think this is a league-altering trade? No, I mean, this doesn't make the Rockets, like, unbeatable. I wouldn't say, like, the Rockets are winning the West now. I wouldn't say that. But they were just the 2 seed. And they just got significantly better. Like, they just added a top 10-ish player to their team for a guy who was out the rotation, a role guy, and a 10th overall pick. And it fits exactly what they need. So this is a slam dunk, no pun intended, for Houston. On the Phoenix side of things, this is crazy. Kevin Durant was on stage at Fanatics Fest. I saw somebody tweet out, Coops on Twitter tweeted out, how does Fanatics have all this money still to bring in all these super big time celebrities for their events and for that, Mike Rubin, was that his name? Michael Rubin, Sierra Rubin, Michael Rubin, for their big parties. It's because if you've ever had a Fanatics item, whether that's a hat, a shirt, a jersey, they cost 2 cents to make. They're pieces of shit, right? So, when it costs 2 cents to make the product, you have a lot of money left over. And that's what it is. They can't all make them like this, folks. They can't all make them like this. Trust me. Believe me. They try. So anyways, Kevin Durant was on stage.
Say that again, what'd you say?
You just got traded!
Wait, the funniest part here, the funniest part about this, this is actually crazy. I 100% think he knew, obviously. Now, the funniest part about this is it's coming up. It's coming up. What the? The funniest part about this is KD just got traded to the Rockets. And then Taylor Rooks immediately goes.
A lot going on right now. I'm going to ask you 2 more questions to let you sort out what's happening. All right, we're going to close this out with 2 more. Tell me the song you always have to play on game day.
Kevin Durant, you just got traded to the Houston Rockets in front of a crowd full of people. Everyone's going crazy. What's your go-to pregame song? What's your go-to pregame song? Hilarious. This is actually crazy that he gets traded in the middle of this. He had to have known, right? He had to have known, for sure. From Phoenix's side, because slam dunk, huge, massive win for Houston. I mean, to not give up any future Suns picks here is just incredible. I mean, they did such a good job. Unbelievable job by them. I love it. Phoenix's side. It was clear and obvious that they were not going to get a big return here. The reporting on that, it's been consistent forever. I told you guys that the trade deadline, the KD return's not going to be very good. It's part of the reason why I said at the time when I thought the Mavericks would be aggressive in a KD pursuit. I was like, I promise you guys, the Mavericks package, if they wanted to do it, would be the best one. It would be the best pick, the best possible one for the Suns would be the Mavs package. And I stand by that. It's not clocking you that I'm standing on business. That's true. It would have been 100% better than this. It was clear and obvious they were never going to get a good return. I think I said a few days ago, if the Suns offer the 10th overall pick, you just have to take it. That's the best thing you're going to get. That is by far the best asset that you could realistically get in a trade like this. Jabari Smith was kind of this, maybe they could get Jabari Smith, which would have been nice, but obviously that was off the table. The return is probably a C. All things considered, maybe you can make the argument that it's higher than that, but all things considered, I think this is a C-ish return. And they had no leverage whatsoever here. None. In fact, they had so little leverage that Shams reported that this came down between the Rockets and the Heat. Negotiations today came down to the Rockets and the Heat. Folks, look at what the fucking Miami Heat were offering. Look at what the Miami Heat were offering. Shams, Heat wouldn't include Jaime Jaquez, Nikola Jovic, Haywood Highsmith, the 20th overall pick, or other draft assets. They wouldn't include Jaime Jaquez, Nikola Jovic, Haywood Highsmith, or the 20th overall pick. Oh, man. What the fuck was this trade offer? Wiggins and Duncan Robinson? Wiggins and Duncan Robinson. And the Heat were like, that's all I got. Wiggins and Duncan Robinson, a final offer. That was the final. This was the other finalist. Oh my God! Which I will say, and I mentioned this when I was talking about the Heat a couple days ago. I'm happy the Heat didn't do this. They have no business doing something like this. None at all. They should be well on their way to a teardown. Full stop. They should be well on their way to a complete and total teardown overhaul of their roster. It does sound like there's reports that they have a DeMar DeRozan trade lined up if this were to fall through. Which I gotta say, what the fuck are you thinking, DeMar? Really? Eesh. John Gambo, this guy knows his stuff about the Suns. He does have a picture of, this is from an account that you blocked. Oh, that's good. Why did I block this? The Miami Heat are unlikely to get Kevin Durant. One more, Heat fans. You don't want the truth because deep down in places you don't talk about at parties, you want me on X. You need me on X. I would rather you just said thank you and went our way. Either way, I don't give a damn what you think you are entitled to. What? What's going on? All right, Gambo is feeling himself. Okay. Gambo reported that the Suns do not plan to trade Jalen Green. He's expected to play alongside Devin Booker in the backcourt. I'll keep going. I had this tweet pulled up. Where was it? This is the Suns depth chart currently. Devin Booker, Dylan Brooks, Bradley Beal, Jalen Green, Grayson Allen. And they got Bobo running point. Is Bobo still on the Is Bobo still on the team? This is a hilarious team. This is a hilarious turn of events. John Gambo has a picture of Donald Trump behind him, by the way, whenever he's doing just a frame photo, unless I'm missing it. A frame photo of Donald Trump behind him when he does interviews. Our big, beautiful Gambo. We love him. We call him Gambo. Folks, the pathetic Suns. We call them the pathetic Suns. They're so pathetic. Destructive Matt Ishbia is what I call him. Destructive little Matt. Everything he touches, he destroys. They traded for Kevin Durant 2-3 years ago. They gave it all away. It's one of the worst deals in the history of deals. They gave it all away for Kevin Durant. And this is what they get in return. I heard Demon Pat Riley. I call him Demon Pat. There's something so demonic and evil about Pat Riley. There's something so evil about him. They wouldn't even trade Haywood Highsmith. Destructive Matt Ishbia is what I call him, folks. He's such an idiot. He is such an idiot. They've done a fucking terrible job. The Suns are a joke, and they've completely and totally been on the path towards destruction. I mean, think about it. Like, everyone makes fun of the Mavs now, rightfully so. Everyone makes fun of the Bulls, rightfully so. This has been one of the most destructive 2 to 3 year stretches for a team I can ever remember, straight up. And people wanted to give Matt Ishbia credit. The KD trade, the original trade, in hindsight, I can forgive. You made an aggressive push. KD's still around the peak of his powers. Like, you made an aggressive push, and I can forgive that. Okay? Mikal Bridges, Cam Johnson, Juan Pablo Valle, remember him? Jay Crowder. And 1, 2, 3, 4 first-round picks completely unprotected in a pick swap. You really went all in. And yeah, now it sucks because you look back at this offer and you got in return for this nothing except what? One playoff series win, I believe. And that was against a Clippers team which Kawhi Leonard was out for the entire series. Actually, I think Kawhi played the first 2 games. Am I right? Then he tore his ACL or some shit. So you had 1 playoff series win. You had a season where you didn't even make the play-in tournament, right? And all you got in return for that, in the end, was Jalen Green, Dylan Brooks, and the 10th overall pick in this year's draft. And then, of course, this one kind of hurts a little bit more because the Nets flipped Mikal Bridges for 5 first-round picks. So I can still defend the KD trade. It sucks. What's indefensible and where Destructive Matt got his nickname was the Bradley Beal trade. It was one of the worst fucking trades of the last 10 years. Just a horrible, indefensible trade. Made no sense at the time. Was redundant at the time. It was kind of clear and obvious if you watched any Wizards basketball that Beal was just kind of like there and was putting up stats on a bad team. Not to say that he was bad, but it was just like, you know, it was kind of difficult to imagine his play style translating to what the Suns specifically needed at the time. Which, remember, they traded Chris Paul in that trade. They needed a point guard. So their idea was we're going to have point Beal. That was it. It was going to be point guard Bradley Beal. It was a fucking disaster immediately. He can't stay on the floor. He has one of the worst contracts, if not the worst contract in the league. He's on a no-trade clause. And you gave up 5 swaps for that. So you don't have any control of your picks at all until 2032. Because they traded their 2031 first to get back 3 picks, 3 dog shit picks from the Jazz, 3 horrible picks, like heavily protected picks, pick swaps. They got all of those picks in return to dump Yusuf Nurkic's shit-ass contract. This team sucks, man. Matt Ishbia is fucking terrible. He's horrible. He's horrible. He's one of the worst owners in the league. I don't care that he has $2 hot dogs. I don't care. I don't care that you can watch Suns games for free online. Cool. That's great. That is. That's actually fantastic, right? $2 hot dogs. Guess what? You want to know how many people are going to be eating the $2 hot dogs next year? I don't know, 6,000, 7,000 people a night because the team's going to be fucking terrible. How many people are going to be eating $2 hot dogs in 2028 when you've traded Devin Booker and you still don't have control of your picks for the next 4 years? And your team is Jalen Green and Bol Bol's still there. Jalen Green and Bol Bol. That's going to be your team. How many $2 hot dogs are getting bought then? They're going to have to up the hot dog prices at that point just to make up for the lost ticket sales. Horrible. He's done a terrible job. Destructive Matt. And what's even worse, if I'm a Suns fan, I'm seriously considering jumping ship. And let me tell you why. Not that I'm like super, Kevin Durant, man. Like, Kevin Durant, like, he was so important to our franchise. Not because of any of that. But it's because Destructive Matt, little Destructive Matt, has taken more control of the team. And he wants me to care about $2 hot dogs? Unbelievable. Actually, unbelievable. There's a reason we call him Destructive Matt. Anyways, I think all things considered, this is one of the best returns you could have gotten at this point in time for Kevin Durant. And I am curious. They say they want to keep Bradley. They don't want to keep Bradley Beal. They say they want to keep Jalen Green. I'll believe them on that, I guess. Look, there's some upsides there with Jalen Green. You can't teach the things that Jalen Green has. You can't teach that quick twitch athleticism. You can't teach that skill. You can't teach that when he's on, that sort of superstar tenacity that he does have. So you could talk yourself into it. Historically speaking, guards who are as inefficient as he has been through the first 3 or 4 years of his career, those guys don't, blossom into much. That's just the truth. Those guys, you play the waiting game for those guys forever. Yes, and he did recently say that all 26 other teams would swap places with the Suns. 0 teams would swap places with the Suns. 0. Seriously, I stand by that. I don't think the Hornets would switch places with them. I don't think the Wizards would switch places with them. Why the Wizards would? The Wizards are in a good spot. No team would. I think they're the worst possible destination right now. They're the worst. Not even the Mavericks would. Obviously, after getting Cooper Flag. Unbelievable. Destructive Matt. Little Destructive Matt Ishbia. Look at this. This is hilarious from the Dunk Central. Devin Booker, Jalen Green, Bradley Beal. Very interesting. Very interesting. It's going to be very interesting for fans sitting courtside. They might have to hand out helmets. They might have to hand out Army-grade helmets, military-grade helmets to fans sitting courtside because it might get dangerous. It might get dangerous. So a fantastic trade. What's next for some of these other teams? Miami, again, I'm happy. They didn't need to make a KD trade. I said that if it was like Wiggins and Duncan Robinson in the 20th overall pick for KD, yeah, fine, whatever. That's next to nothing. Just do that, right? But realistically, they didn't need to go that route. I really hope they don't do a DeMar trade or something like that. Like that is just so stupid. They need to rebuild so badly. San Antonio, because there was like a week or two ago, and Gambo was saying this. Beautiful Gambo. Must have been wrong. Gambo was saying a couple weeks ago that it was like the Suns or the Spurs were like going to get Kevin Durant. And I love that for them. But things have been suspiciously quiet with San Antonio. They feel like a team that's almost certainly going to make a move, and it's been suspiciously quiet on their front. And I'm kind of theorizing in my brain a Jaylen Brown scenario. Maybe I'm looking way too deep into it. But we've been told all the last couple of weeks, we've been told this is going to be a crazy offseason, crazy offseason, crazy offseason, crazy offseason. That would be a crazy offseason, would it not? That would be a crazy offseason. Spurs probably stand pat, if I had to guess. And some of these other teams, like Minnesota, I don't know what their route is. They haven't been mentioned in these talks in quite some time. Man, KD on the Rockets. I think it's a big one. I think that helps them out tremendously. And I think, would I pick them to win the West next year? No, but they got a lot better, and they were just a 2 seed. And they didn't cut into their rotation really. I mean, they did, but you're basically essentially replacing Jalen Green with Kevin Durant, and then you're just kind of scaling up some of these other guys. Like Easton's going to have more responsibility now. Cam Whitmore will probably be in their rotation now. They still need some guard help, but I'm assuming Reed Shepherd is going to have to play more in year 2. That was a 3rd overall pick. Some people thought he was the best guy in that class. So Houston knocked this out the fucking park, man. I love this Heat. Spurs, the Heat win trade. Jaime Jaquez, Jovic, Haywood Highsmith, 20th overall pick. Oh, we love it. We love it. What does this mean for Bradley Beal? Anything? Oh, man. Man. Raptors should go after Trey Murphy. Raptors would be aggressive. We know that. All right. I'm probably going to head out now for the time being. We'll be back for Game 7. I got a little workout I want to do and stuff like that. Colton, 35 months inside Delusional Club. Shout out to Finn. Always shout out to Finn. All right, let's see. I think hopefully everyone who's donated is still in here. I think what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna let somebody sign my cast. Someone who's donated today or become a member today. Now, moving forward, I might do the highest donation. Like, let's just call a fucking spade, right? I might as well milk this while I have it. If I'm in this position, highest donation maybe gets to write something on my cast, but we'll just do a random one today. So how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. 18 is the number. Random number generator. Random number generator. Here we go. Here it is. The only thing, though, is I'm getting this cast off on Thursday. So 18. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Number 3, which was 1, 2, 3. Bubba! You in here still, Bubba. AD said KD, him, and Kyrie have always wanted to play together. Well, trade AD to the Rockets. Bubba, are you in here? Going once, going twice. Where the hell is Bubba's always in here? Where did his ass go? All right, I'll just write his chat. How do I want to do this? How do I want to do this? Oh man, this is harder than I thought. Oh man, this is actually, oh, this looks terrible. Jalen Green is a Mav. Okay. It's on there. I thought writing on the cast would be easier than that. I'm not sure why I thought that. Oh. That's it right there. There it is in all its glory. You guys read that? You see Katie's, he's already doing interviews? Wait, what? Is he already doing interviews with Kay Adams? What did he say about Suns fans? I know he's in the middle of one with Taylor Rooks, but...
So literally,
Kay Adams. We will definitely tune in.
a lot of heartbroken Suns fans right now. What would you like to say? That's not true. No, literally, heartbroken Suns fan, right over there. What?
I just felt like, yeah, I mean, they wanted me to go. So it's like, I'm glad we both, you know, they got what they wanted and I got what I wanted. So we can move on and good luck to them going forward. And I always remember my time there, but we on something else.
A lot of
Damn. Did you guys see this? Wait, hold on a second. I did a search that I regret doing, but there's something I was looking for this. The embarrassment of this right here. You wouldn't hear from me for months. You would not hear from me for months if that happened. I'm just imagining KD doing that during a Kay Adams interview. He played it off cool. I would have looked at the guy next to me and be like, dude, what the fuck, man? You bumped into me. Now that you have studied the draft at the Mavs stayed at 11, who would you want them to pick? Good question. I would have been cool. I mean, Casper Shakonis, if he falls, is that possible? I would have been cool with Noah Sangye. I would have been cool with any wing, really. Like reaching a little bit. Carter Bryant, I would have liked quite a bit. But then I would have had to consider some of the guards. I would not have wanted Igor Dimon. I have him 22nd. He's second to last out of the guys I've looked at. Yeah, Cedric Coward. Cedric Coward I would have liked. Nick Clifford. See, like out of all of these guards, I kind of like Walter Clayton the most. But 11 feels kind of rich. But I guess at that point, like, fuck it, if that's your guy. Traore's interesting. He just has a long way to go, and those guys just scare me so much. So Igor Dimon, and why I'm low on Igor Dimon, is it's this new thing that I'm trying out, is that if a player has like one really cool skill, Nessa, 5 months inside Illusional Club, will we see you in your cast in the AC on Wednesday? No, you will not, unfortunately. Like, yes, Igor Dimon's passing is fantastic. Like, it is. It's great. Now, passing is one of those skills where it's like, it's cool in the NBA to be a good passer, but you have, like, stuff has to set up your passing. You can't just walk in like, I throw cool passes. Like, stuff has to set up that. And all of the other things that Igor Dimon does right now leads me to think, like, his passing might not matter. Does that make sense? Yeah, him being 6'9" is great and everything, but, like, I mean, Halliburton moves way better than Dimon, and he did heading into the draft. But he can't, he doesn't really create for himself. He's not a great defensive, he's not a good defender. He's not a great athlete. He doesn't get to the free throw line. His off the dribble shooting numbers were bad. Like, it's like all of those things. He didn't shoot well from three. Like, all of these things have to get there for him for his passing to even work in the NBA. Mavs fan 06 with the 499. Dumb trade to me. All young teams need to just learn how to win, in my opinion. Green is 23. Why give up so early? Def going to love watching this Texas showdown. Well, because I think you've seen all you need to see with Jalen Green, to be honest with you. And the thing about that is I agree with you ultimately with young teams. Like, if this were the Wizards or something doing this, I would be like, what's the... But they're just the 2 seed. You know what I mean? Like, their window is probably a little bit long. Is like, it's time for them to win. That's as dumb as saying all Tim Duncan does is block shots. Oh. No, I mean, blocking shots is different than passing. Like, passing is something that has to be set up. You know, if you're an elite shot blocker, like, there's timing that goes into that. There's length. Usually you have a long wingspan, you're tall, you're athletic. Like, there's a lot that goes into that. Shot blocking is like a skill in and of itself that sets up other things. Like, for example, why Dylan Harper's so interesting, even though his numbers aren't very good, his efficiency's bad, is he has the skills that set up everything else, right? Like, he has that burst, that ability to get downhill, that first step, the driving ability. Like, all of that sets up everything else that you then talk yourself into all of the other stuff coming around because of that, right? Like, that's the same thing about VJ Edgecombe, where it's like, yes, his finishing numbers were really bad. Like, his finishing at the rim is kind of disgusting, but his uber athleticism leads you to believe that, that stuff will get figured out. Like Trey Johnson, there's some serious, concerns about, again, his ability to get to the rim. Not an explosive athlete, but he's such a great three-point shooter that'll probably open up a lot of the other stuff. Fears, right? Like, Fears. All of his numbers are fucking terrible. And I'm kind of out on Fears because he's smaller, and these guys, I feel like we see him kind of a lot, but he does have the best handle in the class. He's great at creating separation, getting downhill. So all the other stuff could follow much easier than Igor Dimon, where it's like, yeah, he's a great passer, but, like, he's not a great athlete. He doesn't create for himself. He doesn't shoot well from three right now. Like, passing is like one of those things that has to get set up by other things. Is what I'm saying making sense? That's been like, that's how I feel about Derek Queen too. Where it's like, yeah, it's super cool. Derek Queen, like, this offensive upside of Derek Queen for someone 6'10", as someone who could be an offensive hub, all of this stuff is fantastic, right? In a lot of ways, Danny Wolf is like this too. But it's like so much stuff has to kind of go his way. And Queen I can see a little bit more because he does have the skills. I do think Queen will probably end up being a pretty solid catch and shoot guy. I mean, he has to be for it to work. There's much more like one-on-one upside for Queen than there has been Igor Dimon. But Queen's just scary because it's like we see these guys all the time. We try to talk ourselves into these guys all the time. And it just rarely ever works. The same thing can be said about CMB. But yet, I'm here with CMB because those are the guys I always talk myself into is the CMB types. This guy could be Draymond. All right, I'm in. I always get suckered into those guys every fucking year. Every year, there's one of those guys I get suckered into. Every single year. How do we feel about Cedric Howard? I looked at him yesterday. It's just always tough with these guys who don't play a lot against like good teams. You know? It's always difficult. I'm thinking he'd be more than a 3-and-D guy. Yeah. How did Dimon become the best passer if he's been unable to set up his passes through his entire professional career? Well, because, I mean, he has a deep passing bag. Like, he's capable of making almost every single pass. And he is a good pick-and-roll player. But it's just like at the NBA, you have to do more. Like, there's stuff, that stuff has to get set up by other things. Like, you can get by in college and other levels without it. But like, so, and another thing too, if you want to maximize that for Dimon, he has to be your lead guard. Like, if you want to maximize Dimon's playmaking, it has to be, he needs to be the lead guard, but he doesn't do enough things right now to be the lead guard. Does that make sense? But I mean, he could do it though. Like, I don't want to shit on the guy. All of these this feels like from the stuff I'm seeing, this feels like a really good draft. I know there was like this draft was like super hype, and I think that super hype made people be like, oh, this draft's kind of overrated actually. But I actually think this draft's really good. Yeah, it is a really good first round. Danny Wolf is a hilarious one. I like Danny Wolf is the last one I watched. Danny Wolf is an interesting one, huh? Danny Wolf is an interesting one. Are you guys in on Danny Wolf? I would love to hear someone else's opinion. Danny Wolf is similar to Igor Dimon, where it's just like, okay, if I'm like to really maximize what this guy does, he needs to have the ball in his hands a ton. Does he do enough of the stuff? Does he do enough stuff to warrant the ball being in his hand a ton? And then if the answer to that question is no, does he do enough otherwise? Danny Wolf would have been perfect for Indiana. I like that. What about OKC? Like, it would have to be a team that like moves the ball a bunch, and like everybody on the floor at any given moment will have an opportunity. What about the Celtics? Danny Wolf on the Celtics. Yeah, his defense stuff is what he does move. He does move pretty well for his size, though. Danny Wolf on the Celtics. Huh. Sorber, I like Sorber too. I think in my brain I kind of want Sorber to be higher than Malawak. Sorber just has there's just something about him. He's got some fucking dog in him. He's got some fucking dog in him. There's not a lot of like uber athletic bigs though in this draft. Have you guys noticed that? It feels like every year we have at least like one uber athletic 7-footer or something that we talk ourselves into immediately because of the athleticism. There's not a lot of like uber athletes, like uber athletic bigs that I've gotten to at least yet. Like Sorber's not a great athlete. Malawak's not a great athlete. I mean, Malawak is just fucking huge, but he's not a great athlete. It all went to Cooper this year. I mean, it's crazy when you watch Cooper. He's so far and away the best player in this class. That's what's exciting. Like, he's so far and away better than anybody else in this class. It's not even close. Centers in this draft are pretty unorthodox. Quite a few offensive hubs and floor spacers this year compared to previous years. Yeah, there are a lot of, like, it feels like we have 3 or 4 like offensive hub centers. I think that's just a thing that's happening now. Teams at all levels are just tapping into that now, like having your center be an offensive hub. And it's going to be really interesting for draft for a few years because it's going to be hard to look at, because those guys will always kind of do well at the college level if you're big with skill like that. And it's like, it's going to be hard for a while to try and figure out, how do we figure out which of these guys translates, if that makes sense. Like, it's going to be hard to differentiate the ones who can and cannot translate that skill. I'm excited about this draft, though. I think it's going to be really fun. All right. I know I think 40 minutes ago I said I was leaving. I need to go eat. I need to finish my workout. It's a little workout. And then the reason why I was a little bit late was I was fucking on the phone with British Airways, getting one of my flights refunded. Don't break your ankle, folks. Don't break your ankle. All right, folks. Thank you all for tuning in. All the OGs, guys, I love you very much. Could have spent your Sunday morning anywhere in the world. You decided to spend it here. Kevin Durant is on the the Houston Rockets. We did it. I'll see you guys all later tonight. Game 7. Holy shit. Starting to get a little nervous. A little butterflies. Excited. See you guys tonight. Love you all. Talk to you all later. Bye.